Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Let's Talk Hookup here, having a great time this morning. And just me solo here with the boys, with Mike and Carl this morning. Forgot to mention, so Pete is away on his, I don't think it's ever fair to call, I don't think you could ever call Pete a bucket list trip, because Pete goes on a lot of bucket list trips, but this is truly one of them. Yeah. A mega trip down to Patagonia, going to be some amazing fly fishing down there and hiking and just seeing some of the world's, some of the world's coolest scenery for sure. But a 3-weeker. So the next 2 weeks going to be Corey and myself. Corey, obviously our normal co-host, where Maverick is sitting right now, but Corey is down at El Salto. Bass fishing with the Cast Man, which is why we didn't catch in with the Cast Tours report. Those guys are at El Salto right now catching some fish. But having a great time here in their absence. Couple of great guests. Carl Schmidt from Fisherman's Landing, Captain Mike Loust of the Pacific Dawn, also out of Fisherman's Landing. Having a great show. Lots of great info already. And man, the phones have been super busy. If you want to get through, there's plenty of time here in the second hour. Best way to reach us is 213-432-1090. Again, 213-432-1090 is our phone number, or text the show. We were looking at the text messages. So many great texts have already come pouring through, but boy, keep trying. Again, another full hour of reading your texts here on Let's Talk Hookup. That's only available through the Let's Talk Hookup app. It's a free download. Just download Let's Talk Hookup, whether you have an Android or an iPhone. As soon as you fire it off, you'll see the text the show option. You push that button and send your text away. Make sure, too, that you include your contact info, because we are giving away some killer prizes at the end of the show today. We're going to have both a caller and a texter win a prize at the end of the show today. Mike is going to flip our prize coin at the end of the show. That's going to determine who the winner is of one trip versus the other. And if you hear the show, man, a cool. First, it's a full-day trip on board Fisherman opportunity. Lucky caller to go fishing with Captain Taro and Evil. A full-day trip out of Fisherman's Landing in itself, a fantastic prize. The other, I guess you'd call it the even more grand prize, is an overnight trip on board any open party boat, the boat of your choice, that party and a half, an overnight trip for free, any boat with an open party spot at a Fisherman's Landing. Again, some killer prizes, and Mike's going to flip a coin. The coin is going to designate who wins the open party overnight trip versus the full day trip. So again, a great opportunity. Again, text your questions into the app or give us a call, 213-432-1090. With that, it's time to find out what's biting out there. And today our catch report, our fishdope.com report, is sponsored by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. The best processing for your fish when your trip returns. Plus, with Fish Pros, the market, now you can purchase fresh fish. They sell the killer smoked and jerkied fish, all of the spices, rubs, smoked cheese, tuna burger, that poke kit, and the ceviche spice. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or order online at fishermansprocessing.com. Be sure to make those reservations by texting them at 619-255-3128. Pardon me. Carl, I know that was a sensitive subject for you guys at the landing this year, and it's not something that is probably soon to go away. Fishing has been tremendous, and the processors, all of them, my favorite certainly being Fisherman's Processing, were overworked, and having a reservation was so important.
Very, very important. I mean, it was a tough situation to be had, but like Rick said, whoever, regardless, whatever processor you guys use, that you guys prefer, they all do a great job, in my opinion. Make sure you, as soon as you hang up from whatever trip you're going on, I don't care if it's a day and a half, to 15-day trip, as soon as you make your reservation,
the next phone call.
Next phone call. Don't go do something else. I'll make a reservation because you'll forget. You pick up that phone, you make your fishing reservation.
Fisherman's Processing makes it so easy. That 619-255-3128. Yeah. It's a you can text that line. I mean, you can literally, you don't even need to make a call. You can just text right now, say, hey, I'm going on a trip. It's these dates, and then Sean or Melanie, pardon me, we'll get right back to you and get you all set up.
Because if you guys come back to the dock without a reservation, there's a good chance you don't get service. You're going to have to take
a really good chance.
And then don't come to the land like Frank said. Don't call Frank and ask for. Don't call me. Don't call me
Carl and say, "Hey man, hook me up.
Hook me up. Can you make a phone call?" And the answer will be, unfortunately, no. I mean, we've all know about this situation now.
There's more fish and more turnaround than there ever has been before. And yes. Frank made such a good point that I just never really drew that conclusion. Like, there's so much incredible fishing going on from guys like Mike at the day and day and a half and 2 day and 3 day side, and then so many more long range trips have shorter turnarounds. There's so many more 3 days and 4 days that used to be 7s and 8s, and now instead of seeing the RP once a week, you're seeing them 3 times in a week.
Correct.
And it's just there's not enough hours and knives to get it all cut. So reservation so important. Again, Fisherman's Processing, 619-255-3128. With that said, we're going to kick off our fishdope.com report. Talk to our private boater buddy, Captain Mark Wish of Pacific Edge, is on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Ricky, Carl, Mike.
Good morning.
It's good information you're passing along there, Ricky. Save some people a lot of grief come the main part of the season.
Yeah, there was some bummed out folks at the top of the dock with a 200-pounder looking to get it cut.
But hey, anyway, guys, we pretty much made it through January there, and it was pretty much as expected. A lot of weather, not too much fish, no exotics for sure to speak of. And but that might change. There's a little tiny glimmer of hope on the horizon I'll get to here in just a minute. But no reports from the outer islands at all. Weather's been up. Interest has definitely been down, and rightfully so. With codfish closed right now, there's not a whole lot to do out there, and weather's definitely been a factor. Catalina, it's a little more inside, a little protected from the weather. Got a little bit of traffic, not much, but the commercial guys been fishing backside east. They're catching some squids. They're not selling it, so you got to catch your own. But there's no shortage of bait for you hardy souls that want to get out there and bang around a little bit. No reports any gamesters on it yet, but nobody's really looking much either. So I did get a few reports about some of that wintertime shallow water halibut. Last couple of years we've had really good halibut fishing up shallow this time of year, and backside east is where it mostly is centered, and up shallow like 20 to 30 feet. When you're in there rooting around shallow, guys, watch out for the swell. There's been a lot of big swell, and that can turn into a surf line there if you're not careful. And also make sure that your halibuts are 22 1/8 inches. Fishing game, they are active. They are active, and they are really looking for those things. So locally, still pretty good winter bass fishing on the hard bottoms and the local wrecks there, redhead with squid, or fishing your favorite plastic with a strip of squid on it. At least an ounce and a half, so that you get right down there tight to the bottom and crawl that bait right down there around those bad neighborhoods, and plenty of bass. No cods at all, guys. It's bass and sculpin only. And a stretch of water from Santa Monica Bay to Huntington Beach has all been pretty good on that winter bass fishing. So here's an interesting little tidbit.
Okay.
And just a tidbit. But the last couple years, at this time of year, we've seen a little flash of bluefin. 2 years ago, it was kind of down toward the 14 east end of Catalina, and there was actually some nice fish caught for a day or two, and then they, did what bluefin do, and that was over. So just midweek here, and again yesterday, got a hint of a report from some fish up around the 270, breaking spots of bluefin. And what's really interesting about that 270 is last year, toward the end of our offshore season, the marlin centered up on that little bank. It does not get looked at much, although it's a worthy spot. It's just outside of Point Vicente there, just kind of in the southbound steamer lane, not too far off at the beach, but just, it's one of the spots that doesn't get a lot of attention. But last year it held a ton of marlin toward the end of the season. major tonnage at Dorado, quite a bit of bluefin. We're all hanging out there on that bank, and then, the offshore season up there got over and everybody quit looking. But it looks like that area, for whatever reason, got a little bit of that bluefin popping around. And maybe whatever conditions were holding all them gamesters at the end of the season are still around. I looked at both the chlorophyll and the sea temps yesterday. Didn't really see anything meaningful in that zone, but regardless, we got some worthy reports that a little bit of fish is around. So who knows? Maybe somebody will catch a late January, early February bluefin and get our offshore season going right here in our backyard.
Man,
so that's this week's report, and I don't know. We got a little weather coming. Probably not going to get out for a day or two, guys.
Mark,
we got a nice long stretch.
I like the sounds of that. Yeah, we got to get through this little bit here this weekend, and then hopefully we get back to stringing some nice days together. Well, a great report as always, Mark. Great info. Somebody wants to jump up to Pacific Edge, get the best bait tanks in the world. How do we find you?
Ricky, we're in Huntington Beach. We're on the corner of both Chica and Edinger, right there by that big Chevron station. And the phone number is area code 714-840-4262. The website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And we'll have some kind of report for next week. Hopefully it's bluefin on the 270.
I like the sounds of that, Mark. Great job as always, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it. We'll see
Thanks a lot for that. Carl, while we're in the middle of catch report and waiting for Marcos from Seaford to get rolling on, I know that you've got some kind of cool stuff going. Mark had talked about the rockfish closure and targeting bass and, even targeting halibut and things like that. What's going on with the dolphin? What's going on with half-day fishing, local fishing at a Fisherman's Landing?
So Jason on the dolphin is going to be doing just 3/4 day trips local, but starting February 1st, we're bringing back the halibut tournament.
Hey, okay.
It's going to be our 6th year doing it, so kind of same format, every $10 of your ticket goes to the overall jackpot. The heaviest halibut wins at the end of the tournament there. So the last few years you could.
The tournament is how long?
2 months. So it's going to be from February to March.
So every
Wednesday.
Every ticket for a halibut trip, you set aside $10.
Correct.
For 2 months.
2 months.
And then at the end of that 2 months, somebody wins all of that, whoever had the heaviest halibut within that stretch.
Correct. So grand prize is going to be the cash prize, It's
going to be some pretty serious cash.
Anywhere between $4,000 or $5,000,
Oof,
So
no kidding.
Come out and try to catch a halibut.
Okay.
Second prize is going to be the last few years we've been doing
I could use that right now.
a Penn Fathom 15 size reel and a CalStar like a 278 heavy,
awesome.
something like that. Then third place would be 5 half-day trips.
No kidding. That's great.
So there's we don't get super fancy with it. We kind of keep it simple, in-house type of stuff, But it's a great way to go out and spend the afternoon on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday, trips from 7 to 3. Go out there and try to catch a halibut.
I dig it. And that's just on Wednesdays.
Just on Wednesdays.
Okay, so if you catch a big halibut on a Tuesday, you're stuck with just having some killer fillets when you get home and whatnot. So
exactly.
Wednesday halibut trips. Yep. I dig it. That's cool. And you said right now he's running local 3/4 day, like kind of old school 3/4 day.
An actual 3/4 day, 7 to 4, 7, something like that. Yeah, 8 to 4, I think it is. Fishing up and down the San Diego coast, La Jolla, and
fishing bass and
rockfish, or no rockfish, but sand bass, calico bass, halibut, sculpin, that type of stuff. Yep.
Okay, right on. Sounds good. Well, while we're waiting for our buddy Marcos from the radio to come through, we had a great text. This one says, I've only fished Ventura area one time. I haven't had the fortune of fishing on the Pacific Dawn. Mike, can you tell me what you think the best month is up there to fish sea bass in Ventura? And also for up there and in San Diego, are anglers still bringing their own bedding? Lastly, what style of gear should I bring for my overnight trip in Ventura? That's all from Sam and Irvine.
So, okay, so myself personally, I don't think sea bass are line shy. I personally, I'll fish 50.
Give them the rope.
I'll fish, I'll fish 50 to 80 pound test. If it's dark, I'll fish 80. But 50 pound test is plenty. Nice, your rod tip, you want a little bit of a give, but you want it to shut right off. So I would use like a 40 to 60 pound outfit myself for that. Bedding purposes, you're going to need to bring your own bedding. We're still on that same method. I think people like it actually. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the group consensus. But for now,
I'm in that camp. I'd rather just have my own pillow. I'd rather bring my own thing.
I remember the old days where we had plastic pillows, and it was, I don't think anybody really wants to lay their head on a plastic pillow. or let alone a cotton one with who knows who was on there before. So
That's what I'm saying. I like it the way it is.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is we're going to stick with that method for now.
I like your style, and that clearly you are running this operation based on what your customers want, and you're also very clearly not set in stone one way or the other. Like everything you have, I've just loved your attitude towards it. Hey man, if my passengers want to do this, that's what I'm doing. If this is the bedding system that they want, that's what I'm going to go with. If they want to fish in Ventura, hell yeah, I'm going to give them Ventura. Like, I just really like your style. I think you're doing a great job. I'm really excited.
It. Also, cool. I'd like to mention too, like if you do have a charter with the boat and you would like to eat something particular, let us know. I mean, if you want filet mignon, let us know. Yeah, we'll accommodate it. Of course, there might be a little bit of a price increase according to what you want.
But a great call, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not gonna gouge or anything like that. We want to fix. We want to fit your needs.
We were talking about that during the break. I think Carl, you said a meal plan is like $60 a person. Mm-hmm. But if you wanted to throw a few extra bucks in there and have a high end meal package, whatever, you guys are happy to work with whatever whatever your customer wants.
Yeah, we want to be able to hey, you guys are trying to put a trip together. You have something in your mind. We want to try to fulfill whatever your dream package or
I love it, man. I think that's cool.
That's what we're going to go for, and try to strive for that.
There again, going back to the first thing we talked about, how nice of having a charter group that was 15 guys or a smaller group.
I think people like it.
It's easier to. It's even easier to throw that little more. You've got less people to deal with. It's easier to throw a few extra bucks in and have some kind of fun high-end meal thing too. Yep. That's cool. One other thing before we jump into Marcos' report is, which I found fascinating, didn't know much about, is you were, again, Mike, you're so up on machinery. You said that the boat has a very high-end water system, and that's a big plus for you guys on the boat was your ability to. You were saying that your ability to make water that is better than bottled water is available on the boat, and that was like a big goal of yours that, people, myself very much included, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, so there are new water tanks on the boat, and not to mention, the water is so hard here in San Diego, it just leaves a lot of hard water calcium deposits in the tank itself, and it's better for the machinery, it's better for the tank, and it tastes better. I prefer just to make our own water. So I'm going to have a water maker running constantly.
And that's a reverse osmosis system?
Reverse osmosis system. So
you're turning salt water into really killer drinking water.
Absolutely. And there's actually, I'm in the process of actually installing another filter that actually puts pH back into the water. So it strips the water completely clean, but then it'll put pH back into the water to help preserve it. And I'm also in the process of getting another membrane because I would like to have 2 of them on the boat.
You are a machinery guy. There's no doubt. You know that engine room really well, don't you?
Well, I'm getting there.
That's cool.
I'm getting there.
I love stuff like that, man. That's really cool. It's just like you said, that's just something I know nothing about, and I think that's cool. I love all the things you're striving for the boat. Hey, we're going to continue with our catch report, find out what's biting out there. We're going to head on down to Seaforth Sport Fishing and talk to our buddy Marcos. Marcos, what's going on at Seaforth?
Good morning. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. We're trying to dip and dive some of this funky weather we've been having, but it's been nice to at least have a little bit of sunshine.
Yeah, it's definitely been, that winter time. Good weather followed by a little short spout of bad weather and then right back to it. And unfortunately, pretty much the same as last week. Those half-day boats locally getting out there catching sand bass, sculpin, a little bit of whitefish in the mix there. The extended half-days fishing down to Mexico, nice mix of bottom fish on there also. Pretty much the same as we had last week. And like I said, as long as weather cooperates, we're going to take you guys out there. We're going to be running those trips for next, at least, through February, March there. So check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We're scheduled up there for those half days, both the local ones, 9 o'clock departures, and the ones fishing in Mexico leaving at 7:30. We don't run both of them every day, so definitely check that schedule there at seaforthlanding.com. And like I said, hopefully New Seaforth's finishing up some boat work. They're going to be back online soon, so we'll be able to run both of those trips more often. On the overnight trips or the day and a half, we actually have 3 boats out today. We got 3 boats out last night, 2 day and a half. The Pacific and the Tribute got out there. Then the Pacific Voyage is running a 2.5 day. And fishing down the coast there, very good fishing down in Mexico on those trips also. And hopefully we're going to hear from them pretty soon here. Got some guys covering some more ground there. So like I said, when that weather is good, lots of great fishing. Give us a call, 619-224-3383 if you have any questions. more than happy to help you guys out there and get you out there fishing, because we live in San Diego. One of the benefits of living in San Diego is you can fish all year round.
No doubt about that. You know, when something might be closed up or down the beach, the beauty is you're not far away. When you're right across that border, if something closed, you can get in on that great fishing. Well, Marcos, a great report. Glad to hear that things are going so well. Glad to hear that the boats are coming back. Again, we talked about maintenance period. It kind of has to be done, and I know the same is going on at Seaforth as it is here at Fisherman's Landing. All the guys are diligently working to get their boats ready. It just, the last few years have shown us anything. You don't need to be ready by June anymore. You need to be ready a lot earlier than that. And I know the same thing. I was down at the landing earlier this week, and a lot of guys down there turning wrenches, getting their rigs ready for a big season.
Yeah, you definitely have to be strategic with that boat work. Like you said, our seasons are getting longer, starting a little earlier, running a little later, and got to keep those boats running because they're up and maintained, because they're running for quite a while. And just one thing, like we talk about this fairly often here, if you're going to go on any of those trips fishing in Mexican waters along the coast there, those extended half days, or the San Diego when they get back online around the Coronado Islands, get your passport. That's something that's, we've talked about that before. Get your passport, skip on one full day trip, and you've got the ability to fish down there for 10 years with those passports.
If you like fishing out of San Diego and you don't have your passport yet, you just have to do that. It can't be something you wait any longer on. You're just going to miss out on way too many cool opportunities, whether it be coastal fishing on a full day trip or these killer rock cod trips that you guys are doing. There's too many good things. You just have to get it done. Marcos, a great job. As always, appreciate that. If somebody wants to take advantage of the local 3/4 day trips, the rockfish trips, or any of the trips going forward, how do we find you at Seaforth?
Check the website, seaforthlanding.com. Got all kinds of information up there. Have our full schedule up there. You can make your reservation straight online. If you'd rather talk to someone, give us a call at the office here, 619-224-3383. And our hours are a little bit different this time of the year, so don't be calling us at 5 a.m. because we're not here, at least not for a couple more months. Those boats need to do maintenance, and so do we. So we're usually here at 6:30 now. So
enjoy the sleep. You earned it. Marcos, a great job, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Let's talk to then, guys.
All right, thanks a lot for that. Hey, well, that's going to wrap up our catch report today. Low gas prices for your car, truck, and most importantly for your trailer boat, only at Summit Gasoline at San Diego Sports Arena. You can buy your California fishing licenses 24 hours a day. They have beer, soda, snacks, and get 100 pounds of free ice with a minimum of a 35-gallon purchase. That's Summit Gasoline. You can roll by, say hi to Martha and their friendly staff. It's so much more than the lowest prices on gas and the free ice. They have a very easy in and out pull through with your boat trailer too. Summit Gasoline, they're at the San Diego Sports Arena. Such a great spot. Man, phones are absolutely packed for the boys. Let's jump right back into it. Talk to Alex. He's calling us from San Carlos this morning. What's up, Alex? Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Yo, Alex.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Looks like we might have lost Alex there. Oh, there you go. Good morning, Alex. Yeah, Go loud and clear, buddy. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Hey, I was wondering, I hear a lot about like Max Quattro braid. And I was trying to see what would be the right application for something like that. Would I be able to put that on like a Fathom 40 if if I'm trying to use like a sinker rig or anything like that? Or what would be the right application for something like that?
Carl?
Yeah, I definitely think you could fish that Max Quattro on a Fathom 40, especially if you want a little more line capacity. I don't see why you couldn't do that. It's perfect for that.
So for those that aren't familiar, we'll just throw this in real fast. Max Quattro is a Power Pro Spectra that's like 25% skinnier than the traditional line size. Max Quattro roughly is like fishing one line size smaller than traditional. So, if you're fishing 80-pound Spectra, Max Quattro's got a diameter more similar to 65-pound.
But it still has that breaking strength of 80 pounds. So you can definitely get away with that Max Quattro on a Fathom 40. It lets you fish a smaller reel, but keep your line capacity the same,
Okay.
So for fishing... for a personal guy, on your own reels, Max Quattro would be a great option for you guys for that sinker rig or nighttime jigging and stuff like that. There's no reason you can use that Max Quattro. It's a great line.
Several of the guys from several of the boats came in specifically to get that this year when sink rate became such a big deal, wanting to get down really fast. That drop shot brala style sinker rig, some of the lighter daytime knife jigs when you're wanting, the bigger the diameter of the line, the more drag and more affected it's going to be by current and drift of the boat and things like that. Now, with that said, too, the bigger the diameter of the line, the more hardy it can be and the safer on big fish. I know, Mike, you're from the long range school of, big line and big hooks are what help put fish on the boat. So, pros and cons to every situation. Yeah. But I'm a huge Max Quattro fan also.
The only thing that I would say is, like, anytime you get any kind of, like, if it rubs on the bottom of the boat or anything like that, it seems to me that a thinner diameter is the first to go on the bottom of the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know very much about this Max Quattro.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about it. So,
yeah.
I mean, if it has that same durability, I think it's a great idea.
I like the line a lot. I'm a smaller reel guy when appropriate, especially, our deal is, on my boat, we do so much of that run and gun lure fishing, skiff fishing for bluefin, throwing a popper, throwing a surface iron, whatever it may be. And especially when you're trying to use a reel like a Tranks or a Trinidad 20, whatever it may be, when you're looking for a good, comfortable casting reel, but still needing to catch a big bluefin, line capacity is huge. And being able to put an extra 50 yards, 70 yards, maybe even 100 yards, that's a big deal. So yeah, I'm a fan for sure.
Yep.
Hey, appreciate the call very much. Hey, we got a great guy on the line, one of our good buddies, and I know somebody that Carl's going to be seeing here in just a couple of days, and that's Bart Hall's on the line. Good morning, Bart.
Good morning. How are you, Mike and Rick and Carl?
Hey, we're doing good, Bart.
Doing great.
Man, the show's right around the corner. We're excited. I can't wait to have Del Mar back in the mix of a Hall show. It's been way too long, and boy, it's almost here, Bart.
4 years. Can you believe it?
No, I cannot believe that.
I pulled out the booth yesterday and set it all up, make sure everything was good. So we're ready to rock and roll for Del Mar.
Well, and so Jenny's here listening to me. She says she's in the middle of doing this compilation thing, and I was just about to write you a text, Carl. So and here we are listening to the show. And Jenny listens to me, and here she's putting together a cookbook, and the cookbook is going to be a recipe for one of the captains of the. We're going to have a whole section for Fisherman's Landing, and so you guys were talking about food a lot today. I don't know if you realize that you have been, but she says, "Look, if they're talking about food, you have to let them know." So we're going to have a cookbook. It's going to be free, and it's also going to have a QR code. So if you don't want to carry it around, you can look it up and have it like that. And so anyway, I think your chefs will be pretty excited to do that. There'll be a little competition, and there's going to be a prize for the best one. So
I dig it. It's a great idea.
Yep.
Pretty excited about it. Yeah, it's just one more little thing, that's all. But, it's going to be fun.
Well, Del Mar right around the corner. Bart, I know that you said Carl was making the preparations, and we're really excited. I can't believe that it's been 4 years, but we can't wait. I know the list is a mile long, but man, what's one of the things that you're the most excited about bringing back at Del Mar this year?
Fisherman's Landing.
Good answer.
Well, we're proud to be back there. That's awesome.
The landing is back. Now, look, listen, I have never had so many boats ever in Del Mar. And I was saying to Judy last night, can't they build another building? Because we can't put the boats where the tackle is, and we can't put the tackle where the boats is. So we're working it out. I may have to put up some tents.
That's so rad. Those are Cadillac problems, Bart.
I know. It's going to look very much the same as it did before, but probably with some more boats and tents. Oh, and we added RVs, and we added off-road vehicles, and my goodness, the list goes on and on. I want to thank all the major tackle companies for participating, and Shimano and Accurate and Daiwa and Akuba and Avid and AFCO and Izerline and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just, I'm overwhelmed. I'm so excited. I don't sleep at night.
That's awesome, Bart. Well, we're excited too. So stoked that it's back. Give us the dates and the rundown on the Del Mar show, and then followed by the upcoming Long Beach show.
Well, Del Mar is going to be awesome, and it's going to be February 16th to the 19th. and we just extended the hours. I had it listed as 12 to 7 on Friday and Thursday and Friday, and 10 to 7 on Saturday. And all the retailers complained, and all the boat dealers complained. And I said, okay, we'll go to 8. So now we're open an extra hour. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think they're anticipating it to be quite large, and I am too. I think, and all the stuff. I mean, we're there to provide a full day of family fun. I don't think you're going to be able to see everything in the same day. We're going to have hundreds of seminars, acres of boats. We're going to have all the fun stuff that everybody wants, and that they've always come to know. The San Diego County Ford Dealers Lumberjack Show, the Ram Ultimate Air Dogs, the Convict Lake and John Penny Great American Duck Races, the Mammoth Lakes Kids Fishery Crowd Pond. It's on and on and on, and literally hundreds of seminars. So
awesome.
We're very excited.
Bart, we can't wait. Appreciate the call. Thanks for keeping us up to date. And, man, that's only a couple weeks away. We're going to see you in a couple weeks.
Good show, guys, as
Thanks.
usual. And, when Pete's gone, it's always better. I don't know.
I don't know about that, but we appreciate the kind words, Bart. We'll talk to you real soon. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more catch reports, and a whole lot more with Mike and Carl. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Are you passionate about fishing and the great outdoors, but not quite sure where to go? Look no further than Queen Charlotte Safaris in pristine British Columbia, Canada. Hello, this is Valerie Hoperich. There's so many reasons to join us on your next fishing adventure. A few of the highlights are fishing in protected, calm waters. Very important. Quality Chinook salmon run all season long. After you've caught your salmon, we're going to go out for the great Pacific halibut, lingcod, rockfish, and Dungeness crab. Our beautiful lodge overlooks Shingle Bay and Sandspit, and it's so easy to get to. Fly from almost any airport into Vancouver and then on to Sandspit. Fish processing, your fishing license, your gear, all included. Just bring that fishing arm and that smile. Let our chef pamper you with amazing meals while our staff gives you wonderful hospitality, all included in your Queen Charlotte Safaris package. Give me a call on our toll-free number, 1-877-815-2892, or go to our website, qcsafaris.com.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and BD Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways, and one thing I'm really grateful for is my little brother Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no-obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address, and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year, and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable, from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportfishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle. If you have been following us on Instagram, you know we have been loading up on tackle, so take advantage of our huge inventory by coming to our preseason tackle sale Saturday and Sunday, February 11th and 12th. This is your golden opportunity for huge savings on everything you need to fish this spring and summer. We will be discounting all the big names. That's Fisherman's Landing Tackle, huge preseason sale Saturday and Sunday, February 11th and 12th. We'll see you at the landing.
Hi, I'm Wendy Tochihara from Izorline. Stop by our booth at the Bard Hall shows in Del Mar and Long Beach. Check out our new products, enter our knot tying contest, and ask questions of our Izorline fishing coaches at the Bard Hall shows. See you there.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Man, phones have been packed since the beginning of the show. Everybody's excited to talk to Mike and talk to Carl. Lots of great texts have come through, too. It's been a lot of fun here this morning. And want to remind you, this portion of the show is brought to you by Dana Landing on Mission Bay, your one-stop shop for everything that you need to go fishing. A complete saltwater tackle shop, the full deli, snacks and beverages, ice and boating supplies. And when it comes to freshwater tackle, check out East County Bait and Tackle and the brand new Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle. Full of all the freshwater tackle and live bait that you need for a great day in the lake. Dana Landing is right across from SeaWorld next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. East County Bait and Tackle is at the end of the 67 freeway at Mapleview and Lakeside. And the new Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle on Broadway and Lemon Grove. Check DanaLanding.com for all the info on all of them. And boy, I can attest, my boat down at Dana Land has made me a very lazy pair. Said, no, you've got the deli, all that you're at the shop need, man. It's so nice. Love having my boat there at Dana. It is such a great shop. Hey, phones are absolutely packed solid. We're going to jump right into them. Hills in Ventura is up next here on Let's Talk Hookup. Good morning, Hills.
Good morning, guys. I have fished on the Dawn with Pat, and it is a super fishy boat. It was a pretty long time ago. We limited on albacore to let you know how long ago it was. But I got to fish with Mike, I think it was the year before last, and I forget what boat it was that he was running, but man, he's a super hard-working, high-energy guy, and it was not the easiest fishing, and he got us a lot of fish. And what I recall, and I wanted to ask Mike, is he was having the deckhands go check everybody's drags because he was bumming because people were fishing too tight of drags and they were pulling hooks, and he was like, we could have put twice as many fish on the boat if your drags were correct. Is that a thing that happens a lot?
You know what? It all depends on the size of the hook. And so that's why I like to have the crew members go around, because they know the size, the hook size. Tighter drag, in my opinion, is always better. But it all depends on the size of the hook, the kind of hook. If you're fishing, I don't want to put any hook names out there in particular, but if you're fishing like a thin wired hook and your drag set just a little too tight, you're going to straighten it out. You might break them. Same thing for pulling hooks at night. Like if your hooks are too small and your drags are too tight, there's a good chance you're going to lose them.
You bring up a really good point, because one thing I see in the tackle store that has hugely changed over the last 5 years is hook size in general has shrunk so much. You know, a smaller hook getting bit better is not anything that has changed. You know, it has been that way for the longest time, But forever, you know, it was 2 O's, 3 O's, 4 O's. That was the only hook we ever used. And that's when we were catching 25 and 30 pound albacore and small bluefins.
Now it's size 1 on a sinker rig.
On to try and catch a 100 pounder. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the hook size has shrunk significantly, as has, you know, more spectra and shorter top shots and stiffer rail rods. I mean, we are asking so much more of hooks these days that there's no doubt that I'm sure, you know, there's no question, because our gear is so much better, we are landing a lot more big fish than we used to. But I'll bet there's a much higher percentage of hooks pulling that used to, having smaller hooks, no stretch in the line like we used to, faster tapered rods that don't bend into the handle as much. You know, everything's rail rod and you want the pressure out towards the rod tip. I mean, we're asking a lot more of hooks these days than we ever used to.
And that's pretty much why I have the crew member do it, just because it all depends on how heavy your rod is, the reel you got. There's so many different variables. Do you have a long top shot of mono? Do you have any mono at all? Is it a short top shot of fluorocarbon? That is all dependent on, you know, on how your drag's going to be.
Yeah.
For hook to land ratio.
Now, how about for up in Ventura? I know you're excited going up there, sea bass fishing. Does that style of gear change quite a bit up there? Is it still a lot of shorter top shots and that kind of thing? I mean, what would you say is like so I'm going fishing, I'm going to do one of your 2-day trips in Ventura. What would you say is like the ideal quiver of gear for me to bring? Like, what's the right 2 or 3 rods to cover myself on a shot at sea bass and then probably catching some cods afterwards?
So let's start right into cod. So deep water cod. Me personally, I like a 2-speed reel. That way I can drop down into a lower gear depending on how many nice big reds I have. So I can kind of like, you know, slowly bring them up.
Sure.
And as they start floating, you can kind of put it in a higher gear so you can kind of keep up with them if they are floating. I like a short top shot myself so I can feel every little bit. You know, and I don't know, me personally, I like fishing 30 to 40 pound tests. That's just me personally. 40 is probably my go-to. And
65 pound Spectra, 80 pound Spectra?
65 pound Spectra is fine. 65 pound Spectra is fine. You can put a lot of it on there. It has very little drag in the water, you know, and yeah, that's for the deeper stuff. And believe it or not, I've always been a fan of even fishing fluorocarbon just because of the abrasion resistance and everything else. You can get you can get just so many more. I don't know. I know
so much better longevity.
You get longevity. I like, that's just me personally. You can get away with mono, no problem, but short top shot for sure. I would also like have a bass setup, not just for calico bass, but for like shallow water rockfish, because shallow water rockfish is fun. It's
like a 300 size bass reel?
Absolutely.
Same deal, 50 or 65 pound Spectra?
Thank you very much. Exactly. 50 to 65 pound Spectra, 300 size bass reel. You know, fast action rod, something that you love to catch bass with.
Cool.
You know?
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Big reds on a lead-headed swim bait sounds so cool to me. Or just bouncing a Colt Sniper on the bottom, catching big red. It just sounds so cool.
You know, and then for like lingcod fishing, like you just get zoom baits or even those giant, like any kind of plastic that's 9 to 12 inches long for lingcod.
Those big slugs that Corey makes, that'd be a cool one. That's fun.
I mean, that kind of stuff is, I don't know, I enjoy it. I do like it. I like it.
And then sea bass fishing, how do you bring a heavy rig for dropper loop type fishing and then a lighter for casting a leadhead and swim bait, or is it all heavier on the bottom? Like what would be the ideal yellowtail / sea bass type rig?
Well, if we're dealing with kelp structure or anything like that, sea bass to me, they give a nice good run and then they kind of just, you know, last year
wallow around after that.
Last year we had some big ones. We had some big ones caught last year at Catalina. I think I had a 61 pound sea bass last year, and Jesus. And you know, it made a good one, and then that was it. That was it. But I was fishing 60 pound test, and I wasn't gonna lose it, so I was fishing 60 pound test. And I think I was fishing 65 pound braid. I did break one off on the day before in kelp, and I told myself I'd only fish 80 pound Spectra from there on out. And I did. I started just fishing 80 pound Spectra. So me personally, I like 80 pound Spectra.
Go heavy.
I do with the Spectra. And then, you know, just wind on a top shot all the way up. Not at the reel, hook in your hand. Like, so if you were to set the rod on the deck, you can have your hook in your hand and you're not all the way down your reel. What is that, about 10 feet?
Yeah, 10, 15 feet.
Yep. 10, 15 feet. Me, that's my own personal choice.
Yeah.
You know, and those, what are those, the octopus rigs? Or no,
Aki Twist.
Aki Twist.
Or the Gamakatsu makes that Octopus 4X.
Yeah,
you like that kind of offset, sharp style hook.
I do.
Yeah.
I do for like a lead head.
Yeah.
Not a lead head, sorry, like a slider.
Squid.
Fishing, slider.
Okay.
Slider
That's
fishing.
good. That's good info.
And the lead head fishing, I really like lead head fishing, especially if it's just sitting there. I can't tell you how many sea bass we've caught just sitting in the damn rocket launcher.
That's cool. Yeah. Hills, I look forward to having the boat up in your neck of the woods. Appreciate the phone call very much. How about we jump back in and talk to Sam? He's calling us from Irvine this morning. Hi, Sam. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning. Great show. My question is, we're tossing jigs to bluefin. Lately, you don't know if you have a 50-pound or a 150-pound bluefin in a surface boil. What would be, if you had one jig stick and knowing that you could have a 150 or 50 pounder, what jig stick would that be and reel?
So me personally, I am all about the size of the rod. I will never match up the size of the rod to the size of the line. I will never do that fishing tuna. I match the size of the fish to the size of the rod. That way, you're letting the rod do all the work. Personally, I like a 2x4, something of that statue, right? And then you can, like, for instance, let's say we're fishing daytime, fly line, and they're 100 to 150 pounders. You can get away with fishing 50-pound test, or even if it's a sinker rig, 60-pound test, but the rod makes all the difference. If you're fishing a 40 to 60-pound rod just because you're matching up the rod to the line size, you're going to have a hell of a time. The rods, your fish is going to constantly be under the boat. You're going to have no lifting power, and 9 times out of 10, the crew member is going to have to finish it off.
In a surface jig casting scenario, I think maybe he's thinking, because he just talked about like foamers where you don't necessarily know if it's it's all good.
Yeah.
You know, like
I got one track mind sometimes.
Mike has big bluefin on the mind all the time. But he was maybe thinking favorite long rod where you got to balance casting a lure but also have to deal with catching a big fish.
For me, I was catching 150 pounders on Luas.
Carl, you have a favorite?
The Lua is really nice, or that CalStar like 90. What is it? The
GG90,
GG90J, something like that would be really nice with the Talica 12, 16 size reels.
16.
With 80-pound Spectra on there with a really short top shot. So you could fish a popper or like a Colt Sniper type of deal or whatever.
Long rod.
So I like a 100-pound Spectra myself because I feel like the 100-pound doesn't backlash as easy.
You're right about that.
It lays on the spool nicely, and I personally like the 16. I like the Talica 16. I like a 100-pound test, short top shot, and the Alua. You can always people always say, "Oh my God, you're going to break your back on the Alua," but if you have a nice 2-speed reel, you can actually just lean on the rod. It stays away from the boat, and the fish. You can do really nice work to it.
Spectra is unique in the casting scenario, opposite of how mono is, that the larger diameters tend to cast a lot easier than the smaller diameters do. 100-pound lays on the reel and, more importantly, comes off the reel much easier than 80, and then 80 better than 60, and 60 better than 50. It's odd that the larger diameters tend to cast better, but you have to mix that with capacity. And bluefin on a long rod is a thing that doesn't have black or white answers. Mike and Carl both said it best. When you're attached, a Talica 16 is a way better reel because it's 2-speed and it's got the power. However, a lever drag 2-speed is never going to cast as good as a single-speed star drag is. So how could you tell a guy that your casting distance isn't important because you got to get a bite, but amazing distance isn't important if you can't land the fish, and neither of those are right or wrong. You got to figure out what's right for you.
The old Trinidad too is what I would use. I'd use a 20, size 20 Trinidad, the gold one. That was my favorite. And they were. I could catch 100. You could catch a 100-pounder on it just with a little bit of finesse, and it takes a little bit, but. That was my go-to for a long time.
But boy, how much easier is it when you push the button in low gear on attack 16 and lay the foregrip on the rail and turn the handle. And
we started putting tungsten putty as well inside the poppers. You put tungsten putty in the popper and you can get.
There's no
further away from the boat.
Yeah. Like you said, there's no right or wrong answer, and it's really going to be what your skill level is on certain things. And you might start on one way, then after you're like, man, I'm getting really comfortable with this. I want to, I've been fishing a Trinidad 20 or 30. It's like, but my back hurts a lot more after that.
No doubt.
I'm going to switch to a Talica 16,
In general, I really like that rod, Carl, that you talked about, that GG90J. It's a CalStar rod. It's a 9-foot rod, which is long, but it's not crazy long. GG90J was built kind of the same. The classic CalStar 90-day jig rod has been around a lot longer than I have. It's an all fiberglass, great rod for fishing 40-pound. The GG came in. It's a glass and graphite rod that's got some graphite in the core, but it's still laid with all fiberglass from the butt to the tip. So it's a little bit lighter in weight, which is comfortable. But more importantly, graphite has much better lifting power than glass does. Graphite wants to be straight more. It's not quite as spongy. So when you are putting the thing on the rail, it's got better lift of the fish, but it still has the characteristics of a glass rod where it's a little slower and a little spongy, and it's going to load up on the cast. I think that was a really good call.
And
that's a nice
that 90 GG90J mag is really nice also.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Mag being a slightly faster, a little up in the tip, a little better lift to it. And yeah, same deal. Hey, great one. Appreciate that very much. Not a ton of time, but a great text came through. Says, good morning, guys. Are we able to bring our own kites and balloons when we come aboard the Pacific Dawn if the bigger bluefins come around? Also, or are there setups available on the boat for us to use kite fishing? That's from Alex in San Carlos.
So, Alex, you know what? You can bring your own stuff, but typically I'll fish 2 kites, and then if they start biting, I'll put out a balloon rig ourselves, and then if the guys are really good, I've even been known to put out 2 balloon rigs. So if you want to bring your own stuff, you're more than welcome to, because it's a little less helium for me, and
But you will have big fish gear on board the boat in terms of kites and balloon and that kind of stuff.
Absolutely,
awesome.
We'll always have it. I'll have 5. Right now, I have 5 kite rods.
Awesome.
And 5 kite reels.
All right,
I'll
Alex.
be ready to go, 5 of them.
Come on, get with it. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out who's going fishing. We're giving away a full-day trip on the Liberty and an overnight open party trip at a Fisherman's Landing. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way in the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Your vacation bucket list can't be completed without visiting the Katmai Lodge, Alaska this summer. A world-class wilderness fishing paradise on the banks of the famed Alagnak River. Get in the action, fishing for all 5 species of Pacific salmon, king, sockeye, chum, coho, plus trophy-sized rainbow trout, Arctic grayling, and Dolly Varden, both in the Alagnak and nearby waters. Katmai Lodge's Coast Guard and CPR certified guides are fly fishing fanatics and know how to help you reel them in, ensuring your days are fish-filled while you enjoy freshly prepared snacks and barbecued lunches on the river. Back at the lodge, enjoy fireside appetizers and refreshments each afternoon. Delicious dinner prepared by the lodge's exceptional chef. Take a quick fly-out trip to Brooks Falls in Katmai National Park for world-renowned bear watching. And check out our trout fishing specials at katmai.com. That's KATMAI.com. Katmai.com.
It's not just hooks that make anglers wild about Gamakatsu. The finest split and solid rings are also made by Gamakatsu. If you're looking for quality swivels, yep, Gamakatsu makes the best. And when it comes to assist hooks, Gamakatsu has you covered there too, with a wide assortment of sizes and types. Those Gamakatsu fishing pliers and boxes are also a huge hit with anglers. The best hooks, swivels, split rings, and more are made by Gamakatsu. Get them at your local shop or gamakatsu.com.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Hi, I'm Pat McDonald here to tell you that the Hall Shows are back. Bard Hall Shows February 16th through the 19th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds and March 29th through April 2nd at the Long Beach Convention Center. Share the passion of outdoor recreation as we celebrate 75 years of Hall Shows family fun.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Cannot believe how fast 2 hours goes by talking fishing with Carl and Mike. Having a great time here this morning. Okay, it's time to find out. We are giving away a couple of killer prizes. Again, an overnight trip at a Fisherman's Landing and a full-day trip on board the Liberty at a Fisherman's Landing. Mike's going to do us the honors and flip the coin for the big winner here.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so going fishing on the overnight trip is going to be the texter. So the overnight trip is going to Randy in Costa Mesa, which means our caller who's going fishing on board the Liberty, Roy in San Diego. Guys, congratulations. So stoked you're going fishing on those killer boats. Carl, thank you so much for the opportunity to let us do that for our guys. That was a couple of awesome trips. And, man, so much going on. If somebody wants to come into Fisherman's Landing, book a trip, see you at the shows, give us the rundown of how we get our season rolling.
Give us a call at 619-221-8500 or fishermanslanding.com. Also, just want to mention Alex from the Pegasus just texted me. They're seeing good sign of yellowtail down at Collinette. They got trips leaving every Friday night, so book your trips on those.
Okay.
For Pacific Dawn, just go to pacificdawn.com. You can find all the information there.
Our open part. Okay.
Or Ventura Sport Fishing. You can book online from pacificdawn.com. Also for our Ventura schedule there.
Mike, a fantastic job. So stoked to have you on here this morning. Again, going to Ventura, but you were trying to sneak some. If you get the interest in and there's some weather and some fishing, you're wanting to sneak bluefin trips even before that.
I do. I'd like to get a few trips in. I would.
Well, we're excited. Keep us up to date if you guys pull the trigger on if and when those go down, and we'll make sure to get the word out because I want to go bluefin fishing with you, man. This guy is chomping at the bit to go catch a big tuna.
Our early season schedule will probably be up in about 10 days. So for end of February, beginning of March, through March, we'll have an open party schedule up at fishermanslanding.com in the next probably 10 days or so.
And one more time, if somebody wants to book a charter on the Dawn, what's the phone number to call?
Just give me a call.
Landing?
Yeah, call me at the landing. We can go from there for sure.
Awesome.
Any of the guys can help you.
All right, appreciate that. And we appreciate you. Another great show coming for you tomorrow morning. Chauncey Pierrell from the CJ. We're going to be talking sea bass and Channel Islands. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning on Let's Talk Hookup on the Mightier 1090 ESPN.